On to business. Charles Pellegrin is here. He's beginning with a look at how the markets have reacted, perhaps not surprisingly, to Donald Trump's speech about the war in Iran.
Crude prices moving higher on the back of Trump's address, while the 2 to 3 week timeline had brought hopes the conflict would be winding down. The U.S. president's promise that it will hit Iran extremely hard in that time frame has stoked more fears of escalation and fear that more oil infrastructure will be damaged and that the Strait of Hormuz will continue to be choked off. You can see the Brent crude over $107 a barrel. And with these crude prices going higher, shares in Asia have lost ground again after making gains yesterday on Trump's previous comments. Japan and South Korea, both highly dependent on imported Middle Eastern oil. The roller coaster ride continues as well in Europe, where the major bourses are opening lower after rising on Wednesday. The FTSE in London down 0.69, the least the least consequential drop because it has the most oil majors.
Meanwhile, let's focus on the situation in the Hormuz Strait. Passage extremely complicated, not impossible though, Charles.
Iran's threats on vessels attempting to cross the strait without its authorization have meant that ships aren't willing to take the risk of leaving the Persian Gulf and supplying international markets. But obtaining Tehran's authorization has become marginally less difficult in recent weeks. The average two-way transits through the strait has climbed in the past week to just under 7 from just over 3.5 on the week of March 9th.
So how do ships obtain that authorization or that safe passage?
Well, they make contact with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps via an intermediary company and provide the organization with a wide range of information. For instance, the ship's ownership, the flag, the cargo, the destination. And then the IRGC makes sure there are no ties to the U.S. or Israel. And after that, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps does that background check and it approves it. Then a toll is negotiated. The ships from friendly nations get better terms. Reporting suggests that for oil tankers, the toll amounts to $1 per barrel. So $2 million for the largest crude tankers available that transport 2 million barrels. Once that toll is paid, vessels get a permit code and a route instructions for safe passage. The ships then have to raise a friendly flag or even change their registration in order to receive an escort through the strait. And that route through the strait has now moved compared to before the war started. The ships are now navigating close to a group of islands close to Iran's coastline, which are being referred to as the Iranian toll booth by people in the shipping industry. It's in these waters that the IRGC vets every ship going through.
Sounds very organized. I mean, is it being formalized, this now?
Well, Iran's National Security Committee has approved a bill that would impose these fees on the Strait of Hormuz. That's according to the Iranian Fars news agency. And Iran has written to the International Maritime Organization saying it has to check the ships going through on the grounds of self-defense and that these checks will generate costs, thus the tolls. But for shippers, there are many questions lingering on whether paying those fees would mean going against existing international sanctions leveled at Iran. So even if Iran formalizes it, it's unlikely to be accepted by other countries, although right now there does not seem to be really other options to go across.
Yeah, fascinating. Charles, let's move on to the next story. NASA's Artemis 2 mission safely launched. Talked about it, of course, in the news. And one of the agency's premier contractors reportedly preparing for a launch of a rather different kind.
A number of U.S. media outlets reporting that SpaceX has filed confidentially for its initial public offering. The stock market debut set to value Elon Musk's rocket, satellite, internet, and now, since its merger with Musk's xAI, artificial intelligence company at some $1.75 trillion, could be the world's biggest IPO ever and could make Musk the world's first trillionaire. Brian Quinn has the story.
While NASA's Artemis 2 mission heads for the moon, Elon Musk is hoping SpaceX's stock price will soon be doing likewise. The privately held company has reportedly filed confidential paperwork with U.S. market regulators to prepare an initial public offering that could come as early as June. SpaceX is expected to seek around $75 billion via the share sale, making it the world's biggest IPO, valuing the company at some $1.75 trillion. It will also likely make Musk the world's first trillionaire. With 165 orbital launches in 2025, SpaceX is by far the world's largest commercial rocket firm. It also operates the Starlink satellite internet service, which is estimated to have brought in nearly $12 billion in revenues last year. In February, the company acquired xAI, home to the X social network and the Grok chatbot, a controversial deal as Musk controlled both sides of the transaction and because, unlike SpaceX, xAI is burning cash, reportedly as much as $1 billion per month. Though Starlink is SpaceX's biggest revenue stream, the company has landed $6 billion in government contracts over the past 5 years, raising concerns over potential conflicts of interest due to Musk's close alignment with Donald Trump. SpaceX is likely the first of 3 mega IPOs coming in 2026, as AI rivals OpenAI and Anthropic are reportedly preparing their own stock market launches.
Thanks very much. Al Pellegrin with the business for us on France 24.